The state of West Virginia is known for harboring many mysterious horrors. Over the last century, there have been multiple reports of strange cryptids and supernatural beings whom have petrified and terrorized the residents of this small state and visitors alike. Today, we are going to investigate one of these beings, a creature whose existence is not yet confirmed, but has a long history of being one of West Virginia's most mysterious and infamous cryptids. However, I couldn't do this one alone, so I enlisted the help of a friend and fellow horror content creator, Tenebrous Jim. Everyone, we present to you the story behind the one and only, the Flatwoods Monster.
Our story begins on the evening of September 12, 1952, in the small Braxton County town of Flatwoods, West Virginia. It was just after 7 when two teenage brothers, Edward and Fred May, and their friend Tommy were playing out by the schoolyard when they witnessed a pulsing red light streaking across the sky. They watched in awe as it traveled towards the earth, eventually crashing on a local farmer's property nearby. The three boys sprinted back to the May brothers' home, where they alerted their mother, Kathleen May, about the incident. Herself, the three boys, their two friends, a dog, and a National Guardsman all took a stroll out to the farm to investigate. After a brisk quarter-mile walk, the dog ran ahead, barking furiously at something, but instantly ran back with its tail between its legs. As the 7 of them approached the top of the hill, they witnessed something that would go down in history as one of West Virginia's most infamous tales. The first thing they noticed was a putrid gas blocking their view, so horrible it made their eyes and noses burn. Hidden within the mist was a pulsing red light, but after aiming the flashlight in that direction, something horrid was unveiled. The 7 of them witnessed a tall, man-like figure with a round, red face surrounded by a pointed hood-like shape. Not even a moment later, the thing made a hissing sound and began gliding towards the group. In a panic, the guardsmen dropped the flashlight, leading everyone to charge back down the hill in terror, ultimately surviving their encounter with the strange being.
When Kathleen returned home, she immediately notified the local sheriff and the owner of the local newspaper, the Braxton Democrat. While the police service went to investigate the area, the owner of the paper, Mr. Stewart, drove to the May house to conduct a few interviews on their experience. Shortly thereafter, Mr. Stewart decided to head over to the site of the encounter and described a smelly metallic odor lingering around the area. The sheriff also described the same thing. Over the coming days, the story transformed from simply a local phenomenon to becoming a major national news story that was picked up on radio stations and the front pages of newspapers all over the country. Kathleen and the National Guard ended up being interviewed by CBS in New York City, and their tale even ended up charting at number 11 on the year-end news charts. But this all leads us to the main question. What exactly is the Flatwoods Monster? According to the witnesses, the description, though slightly varied, shared common traits of a 10-foot mechanical-looking creature with a round blood-red face, glowing eyes, and dressed like attire for the base of the body. A few of the boys stated it had no arms, but Kathleen May described it as having tiny claw-like hands that folded over the front of its torso. Based off this information, the most popular theory for this monster stems from extraterrestrial origins. from witnessing the light crash into the earth, the pungent metallic gas, and the creature being described as mechanical in nature. It was almost certain that this event was a UFO crash, with the creature existing as an alien visitor from a world beyond our own. However, there's always a rational explanation for everything. After investigating this case, a man by the name of Joe Nickel, a member of the non-profit educational organization, otherwise known as CSI, deduced that the red light streaking across the sky that evening was actually a meteor, as one had been reported across the states of Maryland, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia that evening. He further explained how the pulsing red light hidden within the mist could have been an aircraft navigation beacon, as 3 were visible from the area, and finally concluded how the monster itself was most likely just a common barn owl, much like the previously discussed Mothman.
The reasoning behind this claim derives from the sound, movement, and shape of the Flatwoods monster. It was very dark, and the owl was most likely perched on a tree branch in front of a bush, which gave the silhouette of the famous cryptid. Kathleen's claim of the small claw-like hands were probably the owl's talons, and the hissing sound can be explained by the barn owl's uniquely harsh screech. Nickel thus concluded that the 7 witnesses were likely too scared and frightened from the encounter to think rationally. But that didn't stop others from sharing very similar stories. Within 24 hours, there were at least 6 other reported sightings of anomalous events within the town of Flatwoods. One of them involved a couple and their baby driving just north of Strange Creek when their vehicle stalled. Moments later, a horrid smell engulfed their vehicle. The man stepped out for a moment to try and find what was causing the smell, when he noticed a large globe hovering off the ground. He sprinted back to the vehicle when his wife saw a 9-foot creature with a large body, head, and long arms chasing after him. They hid inside the vehicle, hoping the creature would lose interest and leave. And after some time, it did, departing as quickly as it had came with the globe-shaped object. Be it more evidence that the creature is not of this world, or yet another tall tale, the story of the Flatwoods monster is made no less chilling.
Whatever the case may be, the Flatwoods monster has left a legacy on the state of West Virginia and in popular culture worldwide. The creature can be found in popular video games, such as Fallout 76 and The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. Plus, if you ever find yourself visiting the town of Flatwoods, you'll find chairs constructed in the shape of the monster, as an ode to the popular legend. And so concludes the 3-part series on West Virginian cryptids. If you enjoyed this series, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, please consider supporting Tenebrous Jim's channel via the links down in the description, as this video wouldn't have been possible without him. But, as always, thank you.
And good night.